Intro. Why does NASA keep interrupting live broadcasts from cameras in space? Unexplained phenomena and sudden interruptions to live feeds regularly give rise to intense speculation. In one case, a huge object appeared to be heading straight for Earth and suddenly the screen went grey. After a few minutes, the image returned as if nothing had happened. There are rarely clear examples for such interruptions. What really happens in those moments when gigantic structures appear in space or strange light formations are observed near the ISS? For years, there have been reports of mysterious shutdowns of space streams, whether from the International Space Station, ISS, SpaceX space missions, or Mars rover images. While the official explanation usually cites technical problems, maintenance, or other disruptions, more and more observers around the world are wondering whether there is more to these interruptions. Some of the most spectacular cases of spontaneous interruptions to live feeds show alleged UFOs and unidentified objects moving at incredible speeds. Strange structures and lights regularly appear around the ISS, appearing for a short time and then disappearing again. The phenomena have caused a stir even among the astronauts on the ISS. In 2020, Russian astronaut Ivan Wagner spotted unique light formations that appeared for about 52 seconds in a time-lapse video. The astronaut believed the objects were non-terrestrial flying objects, published the sighting, and asked his government for an open statement. In 2023, an unidentifiable object raced toward a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. The object missed the spacecraft, but the shock remained. Events like these raise big questions. What does NASA really know? Is it really just a series of technical errors when camera systems are repeatedly shut down? Or are there things that are not meant for the public? UFOs on Earth. UFOs on Earth, a reality, and we know nothing about them? UFO sightings have fascinated people for decades, but it's only in recent years that the scientific and political attitude toward these phenomena has changed. In the past, people who saw UFOs were categorically portrayed as crackpots, and UFO mania was dismissed as a byproduct of the science fiction film industry. Reports of abductions by aliens were dismissed as pure fantasy, and sightings of brightly lit discs were supposedly always misinterpretations and optical illusions. Today, the picture has changed. After more and more US soldiers reported UFOs, and even a UFO officer in the US Army sued his superiors, the government has been forced to address the issue. Fighter pilots in particular are reporting UFO sightings with increasing frequency. And since today's jets are equipped with digital cameras, there is also more and more evidence being captured on film. The recordings show flying eggs, spinning discs, and objects moving at breakneck speed or defying gravity. One UFO simply disappears into the sea as if the water did not exist. The case of the flying Tic Tacs made headlines in the US media in 2004. The object showed incredible acceleration and appeared to move without any visible propulsion. The pilots described the flying object as perfectly white, smooth, without windows, and reported that it moved in a way that could not be explained by any known flight technology. These and other reports led the US government to officially change its stance on UFOs and begin classifying them as unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs for short, and the sightings were allegedly investigated seriously. The catch, however, was that the investigations were only superficial. The sightings were catalogued, assigned numbers and probabilities, and then more than 1,000 reports of UAPs were all classified as unexplainable. This fact not only struck people who had seen UFOs or aliens but also caused increasing anger among soldiers and some intelligence officials. David Grush is a former US government employee who was officially tasked with investigating UAPs. After leaving the service, he claimed that his job was just a sham. Wherever he showed up to investigate UFO sightings, other intelligence agents had already been there before him and had removed all evidence. He further claimed that he'd been unofficially informed by colleagues that the US government had been investigating crashed alien spacecraft and even their occupants for decades. The congressional hearing was also presented as a breakthrough, but in reality, once again, nothing happened. The statements of the US Navy pilots were questioned by high-ranking military officials. The sightings were dismissed as optical illusions, and former Special Investigator David Grush was portrayed as a depressed alcoholic on a vendetta because he lost his job. This again suggests that we are being deceived by large-scale campaigns and that the truth about UFOs is being hidden from us. What is behind the interrupted live feeds from space? If we take a closer look at the shutdowns of the cameras in space, the monstrosities continue. If you are also an avid viewer of the exciting live feeds from the International Space Station or ISS, or SpaceX spacecraft flights, you're probably familiar with the phenomenon. The screen suddenly turns grey or a swarm of ants appears. The radio silence can last for a few moments or even minutes. Then the image returns. Particularly attentive viewers have noticed that something unusual appears in the image a split second before the blackout around the ISS. These are mostly lights, objects, or shadows. While on Mars, the image disappears when unusual objects or shapes appear in the frame. And even SpaceX is said to sporadically shut down cameras when something unusual appears in the vicinity of the space capsules. Are these really just technical problems, maintenance, or automatic system shutdowns? There are several theories that suggest that something is deliberately being hidden from us. And there are many images and even short video sequences captured by users showing lights and objects seconds before the shutdown. The area around the ISS is a real hotspot for mysterious sightings. Unknown objects have been filmed several times during live broadcasts moving contrary to all known laws of physics or suddenly disappearing into thin air. A particularly spectacular incident occurred when a formation of 10 dark objects appeared near the ISS, was visible for a short time, and then the live feed was abruptly interrupted. SpaceX missions have not been spared from strange events either. During a Crew Dragon flight, the crew was warned that an unknown object was approaching their spacecraft. With no time for evasive maneuvers, the astronauts had to put on their spacesuits and prepare for the worst. Fortunately, it later turned out that the object flew past at a safe distance, but the exact nature of the fast-moving triangle remains unclear. On Mars, the Perseverance and Curiosity rovers have taken several pictures showing strange structures or moving objects. Particularly famous is the image of what appears to be a rectangular entrance in a rock, which many interpreted as evidence of a building. NASA later explained that, like many other sightings, it was a case of pareidolia, a type of optical illusion in which the human brain wants to see familiar artificial structures or similarities with faces, bones, or animals. In fact, these are natural rock formations, and photographs taken from other angles have often proven that this is the case, that in this case, the NASA and scientists' interpretation is correct, and objects such as the face on Mars suddenly looked completely different in comparative photographs. Despite these cases which can be explained scientifically, there remain enough incidents that reinforce the suspicion that facts about aliens and other strange things in space are being kept secret from us. What will happen on the Moon during Artemis? It sounds like pure magic that the first infrastructure on the Moon is to be built in just a few years. The Artemis mission will first send an advanced team of astronauts and scientists to the Moon, followed by settlers. However, there are also reports of strange phenomena in relation to the Moon. For centuries, astronomers have repeatedly observed mysterious lights that appear to come out of nowhere and then disappear again. These so-called transient lunar phenomena were already mentioned by Galileo Galilei and have not yet been fully explained. Some scientists suspect that they are caused by gas emissions from the Moon's interior or by sunlight reflecting off certain surfaces. Other theories go further and speculate about possible artificial structures or even extraterrestrial activity. There are also several other exciting reports from amateur astronomers and even NASA missions that provide evidence of alien activity on the Moon. Now the Artemis mission comes into play. No one has been to the Moon for 45 years. With Artemis 3, humans will set foot on the Moon's south pole for the first time in decades. In this region, which has been little explored, the astronauts will search for water and other resources. In addition to challenges such as the sometimes violent moonquakes and safety concerns regarding the stability of spacesuits and life support systems, there are rumors that humans on the Moon could encounter problems with aliens. Is there really any truth to the rumors that spaceships are landing on the far side of the Moon? And are reports true that even Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were observed by curious aliens when they took their first steps on the Moon? And how does this fit in with the planned colonization of the Moon? Some sources report fantastic things. And if we believe whistleblowers such as Maurice Chatelain, Bob Lazar, or even former NASA employee Donna Hare, there are indeed activities on the Moon that have to do with aliens. Rumors keep popping up about the Moon landings and the planned Artemis mission, suggesting that these could also be a complete hoax. And even SpaceX is mentioned in this context. Elon Musk keeps postponing his fantastic Moon projects, and there are also rumors that the Artemis launches and efforts are nothing but deception and stalling tactics. Are we part of an alien zoo? When it comes to governments and NASA, one thing stands out in particular: both entities have entrenched themselves in an anti-alien and anti-UFO stance. But can we really claim with such certainty that neither phenomenon exists on Earth? After all, the official bodies repeatedly claim that these cases are inexplicable. However, only a very small amount of room is left for the possibility of extraterrestrials or their flying objects. Fortunately, some scientists are far more open-minded and have developed interesting theories. They have seriously considered the possibility that extraterrestrial civilizations regularly visit Earth and investigated why there has been no direct or friendly contact with us. They've come up with approaches that mainly suggest that extraterrestrials deliberately avoid us because we are too backward as a species. The so-called zoo hypothesis, proposed by scientists such as John Ball, concludes that advanced extraterrestrial species deliberately ignore us but observe us with curiosity, just as humans observe animals in a zoo. This theory could explain why there are numerous UFO sightings but no clear evidence of direct contact. Allegedly, there have been repeated attempts by higher species to contact the governments of this world. However, since these visitors demanded far-reaching global peace agreements, the abolition of nuclear weapons, or even leadership of the Earth, the governments refused and the visitors disappeared again. Click the subscribe button now, the best videos are yet to come. According to the Kardashev scale, our unwillingness to pursue peace, global consensus, or the abandonment of weapons technology shows that we are an underdeveloped race. This scale ranks civilizations according to their ability to generate energy. We have not even reached Type 1, which requires complete utilization of planetary energy. Our resources are used inefficiently, and conflict dominates instead of cooperation. Only when we strive for global unity and prioritize sustainable technologies can we hope to advance in cosmic evolution, and then perhaps be taken seriously by other species.